Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Azizi. My student number is 2023188727. I'm from class AM102B.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Najiha binti Sabu Bahari. I'm from AM102B.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fizatun Karisa binti Farid from AM1102B.
Now I will explain about introduction. The expression of is fundamental principle of government that divide the power of government into three branches, which is legislative, executive, and judicial. The French philosopher Montesquieu originally presented this idea into the Spirit of Law, published in 1748. According to Montesquieu, there could be no liberty if the same person or group had all three of these functions, as they would be in charge of enacting, carrying out, and interpreting law. In addition, the executive implemented law. The judiciary interpret law and resolve dispute, and the legislative is the body that creates law. According to French writer and philosopher Montesquieu, there will be a dictatorship and arbitrary government if one person controls all three powers. Now I will explain about legislative. The Australian Constitution acts as a legislative power division system that is extremely similar to the US system. The Commonwealth National Parliament is authorized by Section 51 of the Commonwealth Constitution to enact law for the peace, order, and good government of the Commonwealth, pertaining to a list of 39 subject classes. Although the remaining legislative functions are not expressly and explicitly allocated by the Constitution, it has long been believed that they belong to the state. According to Section 109 of the Constitution, state legislation that are conflicting with common law supersede one another and are deemed invalid to the degree of the inconsistency. There is no formal Bill of Rights, but the Constitution does contain one or two express limitations on the use legislative power. Section 116 forbids the Commonwealth from enacting law that establish or forbid any religion, and Section 92 states that on the imposition of uniform duties of custom, trade, commerce, and intercourse among the state, whether by means of internal carriage or ocean navigation, should be absolutely free.
Okay, the next part I will explain about executive. Executive is frequently subject to restriction. It frequently has a significant impact on national political democracy. And then, president may negotiate and sign treaties which the Senate must ratify, and the executive branch represent the country in diplomatic. In addition, the Prime Minister is in charge of the executive branch in Malaysia government, which is composed of the cabinet's numerous ministry. And then the executive arm of the government should be under control of a monarch, since it requires dispatch and is better managed by person and by many. Executive branch also includes law enforcement agencies such as FBI, police, and ministry. And lastly, making budgetary and policy recommendation is executive third duty in their job.
Now I will explain about judicial. The judiciary, as one of the three organs of government, perform a vital function in safeguarding the rule of law and guaranteeing that individual liberties and civil rights are protected. For the court is to be impartial and independent if it is to maintain the power balance within a state, and to prevent abuse on part of authority. The judiciary, as the third organ of government, has the responsibility to settle disputes and apply the law to specific cases. Just decide the meaning of law as they give up their judgment on various cases. The judiciary, from the perspective of citizen, is the most important government organ because it protects them against possible excesses by the legislative and executive branches. Now I will explain about judicial function. The first function of the judiciary is to interpret and apply the law. This involves addressing complex constitutional and social issues through a process known as judicial review. The courts can determine whether law, ruling, and government action are constitutional and consistent with the right and ideals specific in the Constitution. This process significantly shapes societal and constitutional concerns, impacting decisions that affect society as a whole. The second function of the judiciary is to adopt general statutes to administer justice in specific cases. This involves interpreting and applying current law to handle unique circumstances. For example, the Federal Court, Malaysia Highest Court, engaged in judicial review to resolve matters related to religious conversion, parental rights, and fundamental freedom. This process shows the flexibility of the legal system to accommodate a variety of situations. The third function of the judiciary is to protect constitutional rights. This is particularly evident in the protection of the right of criminal defendants. The judiciary ensures that legal procedures follow due process and respect the right of every accused person. By upholding constitutional rights, the judiciary helps ensure that the criminal justice system operates fairly and equitably. In conclusion, we can learn and know that the expression of power by Montesquieu is divided into three branches, namely legislative, executive, and judicial body. We can also learn how each branch works, what their role is, and what each branch does. Therefore, the existence of special power avoid the abuse of power, check and balance, and also avoid dominance.